Welcome back to another issue of Hops Geek News. Today, we are going to be talking about the epic battle to save Martha. We're talking Batman v Superman.
Martha.
Of course, we are talking the 2016 most divisive, most splitting movie of the century, in which it has left people so angry and so torn up. It is Batman v Superman. We're saving Martha. We're saving Lois. We're saving Superman. We're doing it all. But first, without further ado, this is a podcast where we talk about news. So I am Mash. With me is the Hoppy Mommy. What's up?
Not much. How are you on this fine Friday evening?
It is. It is. We are 1 week out from Justice League, which I'm super stoked for. I went out to some breweries today, drank at Woodland Empire, drank at Barbarian Brewing. I got some good brews.
Oh, you're a few beers in. I am 0 beers
Yeah,
in.
I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. If you found us, by the way, then congrats. But if you happen to stumble upon us, make sure you search Hops News on all your podcasting platforms. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram, Hops Geek News. Check us out on Twitter. We are there as well. And without further ado, what are you drinking tonight?
So I haven't even opened it yet, but I already know it's amazing because I've had it.
Oh,
Cracking
pop
it
that in the
open now.
microphone.
It is a beer from Southern Swells Brewing in Jacksonville called Karate in the Garage. It is an
What?
IPA. Yes, and I got it because, not to spoil this amazing movie or anything, but as soon as Superman said, "You have to save Martha," they become best friends. And then they most likely probably did karate in the garage before they went and tried to save the day.
All right. There's going to be
So,
no slander on this podcast of Batman v Superman. I will not tolerate it.
but there's going to be a lot of it. I'm sorry. I'll just apologize in advance. But I got to stop at this brewery on the way home from Asheville on Wednesday, and I've had their beer before, so I knew it was going to be amazing. So when my husband's like, "Oh, are there any breweries in Jacksonville you want to stop by on the way home?" I knew this was the one, and we got oh my gosh, I tried a stout that was absolutely amazing. I don't think you well, it had peppers in it, but I feel like you would still like
Ah.
it because it
Oh,
wasn't
it's that place
spicy
that you
though.
sent. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Gross peppers. Ew. Peppers
I
don't
mean,
belong in beer.
it was so amazing. It was like Hunapoo quality, and unfortunately, you couldn't get it in a crowler or anything because it's one of those kind of
Oh,
beers.
you
It's just too much,
couldn't get it
but it
like
was
at all?
phenomenal.
Like you couldn't bring
Well, I got to
cans? You
drink
couldn't.
it there,
Oh, got you,
but yeah,
got you.
they weren't doing crowlers on that one.
That
But
sucks.
I did get this one and another hazy double IPA because those are mine and my husband's favorites. It just smells so good. Yeah, this beer's phenomenal. So, what are you drinking?
You make me want to sniff my beer now. But I am drinking Full Sail Brewing Company Haze of the Gods because Batman is
Ah,
on God tier more often than not. The DC heroes are tailored after the old Greek gods. And so I figured this one, it's from Hood River, Oregon, which, if you know the Hood River Bend, Oregon area, it's kind of the mecca for craft beer. And so I get some of that
yes.
action out here. And it's an 8.5% double IPA. And yeah, it doesn't tell you what all is in it, really, to be honest with you. It's just a limited edition and strong current series. Ooh, that's exciting. So it's actually pretty good. Doesn't taste like a hazy, double IPA. It's pretty light too, actually looking. So
Yeah, actually, ours look kind of
good.
similar. This one says IPA, but it tastes like a hazy. And I said I was going to look beers up beforehand, and once again, I have not done that,
Yeah, this
but I
tastes
will.
this tastes like a not even like a regular IPA. It tastes really smooth and really light. Not in a bad way. I don't mean this in a bad way whatsoever, but it doesn't taste like your double IPA. I did have um today I went
This
to
is in New
Woodland, like
England.
I said. I had the Ada County Stout, and I had a really good one that I should have bought cans of because it's called the was it the Devil's Bellows, something like that. And it was a cherry saison, and that was wicked good. It tasted like a
Huh.
kind of like a cherry wine kind of, and that one was really good. Woodland
Right.
Empire cranking out some good stuff. I barely missed Rob, so I'm going to see him next week. And then we were at Barbarian, where I picked us up a couple beers. That purple stuff, which is going to be wicked good. I grabbed that one because it reminds me of Thanos. And then
Ah.
I drank their Bedrock beer, which is fruity pebbles, lime, cherries, and
Ooh.
excuse me, something else. And that was really it tastes like cherry and fruity pebbles. Like the when you first drink it, it tasted like cherries, and then on the back end it tastes or I'm sorry, it tastes like fruity pebbles. and then on the back end is like cherries. So
Very complex.
that was good. And then we ate some tacos, and it was a good time. Really, really good, smooth day. So what wasn't smooth is what did we fuck up last week? I know I had a fuck up. My first like one ever. Oh no.
Your first one ever. Well, I'll say real quick so I don't have to fix it next week. This beer is in New England. I looked it up on Untapped. It says Mosaic lupulin powder and lots of it. A fresh, juicy hop bomb. It
Ooh.
is so awesome. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see teeny tiny little karate images,
Hot
which I will get on
bombed.
the
That would have been good for
Instagram.
Cobra Kai episode.
Yes, it would have been. Unfortunately, we don't always get their beer in Orlando. I think I've actually only been able to buy it on draft at a la carte, which, if anybody's ever in Orlando, a la carte is a great, it's like a permanent food truck area, but the actual building sells amazing craft
Oh.
beer. And they do like tap takeovers sometimes from like other Florida breweries that we don't normally get. So that's pretty cool. So I've had this beer there before. And then I have a friend, Tim, who actually runs a beer page in Orlando. Um, and he's actually hooked me up before. So we got him some cans to reciprocate the favor because this brewery is awesome. If you ever hear Southern Swells, definitely get whatever Southern Swells has.
I
Well, since you only had your one mess up, do you want to go first?
yeah, real quick. I can't wait to get out to Orlando, and that sounds like a good place to go. So definitely gonna have to hit that up. I did last week. I did say that Black Widow was gonna be the first Marvel woman movie by to come out, solo woman movie. That's not accurate. Actually, a mystery host called me out on that. She was like, "Hello, Captain Marvel," and I totally forgot Captain Marvel did come out because Black Widow's never coming out.
Ugh, I know that kills me. Well, what's funny is that she called you out on that, and when I listened back, yeah, that does sound wrong. But when we were talking, all I thought we were talking about was that she was the first like female superhero in the Marvel MCU that we've seen. So
She
that was
was
my thinking.
technically, yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah,
But
so
yeah,
yeah, but she's not the first standalone movie.
no,
Absolutely.
no, was not.
I'm
What
just a
what do you got
girl.
going on over here? I see some things.
I see lots of things. So this has become my new favorite segment. This is my web redemption for those who watch Tosh.0.
Oh yeah.
So we did talk about the artist from that wrestling comic. If you listen to that, we got the artist's name is Kendall Good. They actually responded on our YouTube
They
video.
did.
Um, and so kendallgood.com, the good has an E at the end, and we can share that at some point as well. So if you want to see any of his other work, because that artwork was gorgeous. If we dropped this past Thursday, our episode with Geek Peak, which I showed up late on, and they actually mentioned they were drinking Sierra Nevada out of Asheville, just outside of Asheville. So I actually got to drive by that brewery the other day. So I thought that was pretty cool. They're closed right now. They're only doing to-go orders, but if you're ever in the Asheville area, it's definitely worth driving near because it is gorgeous. They have like these like
Mm.
metal hot looking things as you like drive through this windy thing. I'm going to make an Asheville video soon and it'll be in there. But Sierra Nevada's actual location is on my brewery bucket list. Their original location is in Chico, California, and
Ooh, I thought
that
so.
one's awesome
I
too.
thought they were out west. I thought they had two locations, but I couldn't
Yeah.
remember.
So they opened the one in I don't know when exactly they opened it, but that's where they do all their East Coast distribution now. But yeah, the brewery, I mean, we're like peeking inside of it. It's massive. Of course it's massive because they sell their beer everywhere.
Oh
But
yeah, it's everywhere.
um so I mentioned Angry Chair Brewery last week, and you asked why the name. It is actually a song from Alice in Chains. So the angry chair is symbolic of a place, time, or situation that you have experienced. It is something you've had to overcome or something that sparked a change in your lifestyle. Your angry chair is unique and something only you can conquer. And that is directly from their website.
Ooh.
And they gave silly examples. Like it could be, not losing your shit in traffic, or it could be like a serious thing you overcame, maybe depression. Like everybody's angry chair is something different that you have to overcome. And if you've ever
Oh,
had any of their stouts, their stouts will help you overcome.
interesting. Interesting. All right. Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Okay. On our favorite character Star Wars episode, I don't know why I forgot about it. My actual favorite character in all of Star Wars is Kuil. Is that how you say it? The I have spoken?
No,
Kual. How do you
no,
say it? I
I don't
forget.
know because he's nobody's favorite. Because
He's my favorite,
all
and I'll
right,
tell
well,
you
he's
why.
your favorite. Okay.
He changed the way I parent. I no longer argue with my kids and say it again. I just say I have spoken. And I get oh, I hate when you say that and a
And they look
storm
at you like,
off,
"Shut the fuck
but
up,
they get it.
mom."
It always made Mando shut up. So yeah.
That's true. It is true.
Chris from Nerd or Oblivion Nerd Bar or Oblivion Bar. So we're talking about Thanos, and he said, I believe it's an eternal and deviant combination of DNA that he has, and he is correct. That is absolutely correct.
Hmm.
He's a Titan, which is connected to the lineage to the Eternals, which is the secret society and species living on Earth since the time the Celestials came to Earth, and they are responsible for the Titans, which they actually just revealed in that comic book I had read recently. So that was actually new information. But Thanos
Whoa.
is an eternal, and he's a type of superhuman, which, according to the Celestials, was meant to be a protector of Earth. But he has a funny way of protecting Earth. But yes, he is a deviant and an eternal, or he has both of their blood. So he did not fuck up. Good for him. Okay. The Walking Dead.
Wow,
The
you have a list. Holy
Stormtroopers. I'm
smokes.
almost done. I'm going through this. Stormtroopers. It's from the Commonwealth. That was the word. I called Spider-Man Superman, but then I said Peter Parker, so that's fine. Oh, and everything in our WandaVision episode, we were wrong. That's about it. But we'll discuss more of that on our Quips and Dips pod.
Ah,
So, what have you
yes.
read or watched this week?
All right. Well, start things. I watched BVS, of course. A lot of hate on Twitter. A lot of hate. For nerds, by nerds. They really just tore it in this movie with our friends Geek Peak. I thought we had something special,
Oh, I need to
but
listen to that.
whatever. It's fine. It's cool. It's cool, man. It's not for everybody. That's fine. Um,
It's
I
for like two
read.
people.
I should say I watched obviously WandaVision finale last week, which we're going to talk about on Quips and Dips when we go on there. That's going to release soon. And Harley Quinn, I watched the first two seasons. Really, really well done. My favorite characters are Clayface and Bane. It's clever writing where they tie in old school DC Batman with new school, and they just the way they write and interweave, and it's really well done. The artwork's really great. I like how bloody it gets when they're fighting, and I liked Kaylee Cuoco. She is the voice of Harley Quinn, and
Oh yeah, I heard that.
she it's great. We finished the first two seasons, and then we started Swamp Thing, which was on the DC streaming service, and then it moved to CW. They only did one season. They filmed it in North Carolina, and I guess the way like the taxes and all, like it turned out to be too expensive to film, so DC only did one season, which is kind of
Hmm.
disappointing because the costume looks fantastic. Like this is killer costume work. So
I've
I'm
heard good
hoping,
things.
so far we're 3 episodes in. Really good show. I really think it's good. Hopefully it gains some traction and they come back to it. I'd like to see a Justice League Dark that they've been talking about forever. So yeah, that show was really good. I've been reading all the future states. So I've read the Suicide Squad future states, the first issue of Post Future State that's come out. I've read Shazam issue 1 of Future State. I've got the trades 2 through 5. I just picked those up for Ice Cream Man. And
Mm.
yeah, I read just a bunch of that kind of stuff, like all the future states for the most part. Those have been really good. What have
Yeah,
you
I
been?
think I got the second Aquaman. So we did our first giveaway. I got the Future State Aquaman. So when I went to pick up comics last week, a lot of times I don't even look at what they hand me. They just hand me my comics, and I'm like, thanks. And then so they had given me the second one of the Aquaman Future State. So now I wish I had read that before I sent it to our winner, but
I
maybe I'll
haven't
read
read
that
it
one
yet.
still.
But no, Future State was actually good. I like the Batman ones I read were good. Suicide Squad, it's got Peacemaker at the helm. It's probably setting up for, the TV show and things of that nature. They're kind of writing him so people kind of know. And then I will say like Shazam was good. There's kind of like Billy Batson is taken hostage. There's some things going on with Shazam. I won't go into any more detail than that. And I actually started also reading Swamp Thing, the comic book, because I don't know a whole lot about him, and the TV show has me kind of intrigued.
Yeah.
So I picked up the Future State Swamp Things, and kind of diving into his character a bit. So it'd be fun if you watch it and we can kind of talk about it at some point.
Yeah. No, I've heard good things about it. Wasn't there a Swamp Thing or something back in like the late 80s or 90s? I'm going to have to look into that because I know my brother had a Swamp Thing toy because he used to sing Swamp Thing. Do, do,
Yeah,
do, do.
I'm pretty sure there was. While I'll look that up while you're going into what you've read or watched.
All right. So one of the things I actually watched, so we actually just went on a little trip with our oldest, our 17-year-old. So it was one of those, every hotel now you can access all your streaming networks, which is genius of them. They're going to be able to completely cut their cord. But so we were looking for, I like to introduce her to all the classics. So we watched What's Eating Gilbert Grape. So I don't know if you remember that movie, but it's got
I
Leonardo
do,
DiCaprio, it's
yeah.
got Johnny Depp, it's got Mary Steenburgen. I mean, it's got John C. Riley's in it. I mean, it's one of Leonardo DiCaprio's like first movies. I feel like
Yeah,
he's
he
straight out
was
of
really
Growing
young, and
Pains.
he played, mentally challenged. Obviously,
Yeah.
Johnny Depp was the older brother, kind of struggling with that, and he was his
And the
caretaker. Yeah.
very overweight mother. Yeah.
Oh my God, and they had to
So,
get a crane to lift her out of the house.
okay, so that's what I thought. I thought I remembered them taking the wall of the house off, and that's not what happened. They burned the house down. So now I'm thinking, what the
Wait,
hell movie
what?
was that?
I swear to
That
God, they've lifted her out with a crane. I thought, didn't
that's what
they?
I thought. I thought they took the wall of the house down and lifted her out with a crane.
Did we
We
just
must be
get
thinking, yeah, what's that? The
what?
Mandela effect or whatever.
Mandela effect? Oh, did we
Mandela
just get
effect.
Berenstein
Right, Nelson
Baird right
Mandela.
now? Like,
That's got to be another movie because when they were burning the house down, I'm like, what in the hell? I don't remember
no.
this.
All right. First of all, there was a 1991 TV series on the Swamp Thing, and
Okay, so that's probably why my
Wes
brother has
Craven
it too.
also directed a movie on the Swamp Thing in the 70s, which
Ooh,
was, oh, I'm sorry, 1982. Wes Craven directed a feature and 72 episodes and 3 seasons of his own TV series in 1990 to 93. So, yes,
there you
there
go.
was. Now, I'm looking this Gilbert Grape shit up. So,
Okay, you looked that up. We also ended up caving to the WandaVision recommendation, and I rewatched Ultron, which honestly I hadn't watched that movie in a while. It is a good movie, and now knowing WandaVision and everything, it's actually a little more enjoyable. Oh, I'm knocking down things. So that's what I watched other than WandaVision, which again we'll talk about. So I picked up, I wanted something for our trip, so I picked up Sam Wilson Captain America, and it's called Not My Captain America. It's the trade back, so it's the first 6 issues. I think it's fairly new, but it was really good. So he's basically taken over the shield from Cap.
yep.
And Misty Knight's in this. You got
Ooh.
the night nurse is in this too. Rosie Dawson's character, but she's a doctor. She's not a nurse, and it's actually pretty cool, and it deals with kind of like current events. Like there's somebody even calls him Captain Socialism because he's
Oh,
trying to like
what?
help these people crossing the border.
Oh, how
So yeah,
dare he?
it's got some political stuff in it, but it was really good, and it was really cool to kind of see Sam Wilson in the comics because I hadn't read anything with him in it before. So this is the first 6 issues, and it looks like it could keep going or it could stop. I'm hoping it keeps going. If anybody has read it, let me know. But yeah, I got to look that up. I definitely want to keep reading that. And I have not started reading this yet, but I did finally get Invincible. If anybody's watching I mean, this looks like a phone book. Are you
Holy
still
crap, that
looking
thing
up?
is huge.
It's a compendium one thing. It was only like I think $40 for all this, rather than buying like
Wow.
75
Oh,
trade
so it
backs
has
for thirty
everything in there?
dollars. No, this is one of I think three.
Oh.
But I started the comic book a few years back and never finished it. Now they're about to make a show, so I want to finish it. All right. So what's up with Gilbert
Yeah.
Grape?
Okay, first of all, John C. Riley's in this. Okay.
Yeah, I
Second of
said
all,
that.
yeah, Bonnie climbs the stairs to her bedroom for the first time since her husband's suicide. Arnie
Right.
later tries to wake her but discovers that she has died. To protect Bonnie's dignity, the family emptied the home of possessions and set fire to it,
Right. That's what
burning
they
it
said.
to
That everybody
ashes.
would come out watching her get pulled out
What?
of there.
What movie did we watch?
I don't know, but apparently we both watched it.
What? We watched the same
Uh,
movie. What? Wow. Okay. Cool. All right.
Here, I'm gonna Google what movie did. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can
All
move
right.
on to
So we have some
breaking
breaking
news.
news. All right. Which breaking news? Apparently, we watched the same movie, thought the same thing, but it's not the same movie. I don't know. That's crazy. So as we all know, Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming out. I'm excited. I took the day off. I'm gonna 4 hour binge the fuck out of this movie. Um, Kevin Smith is hosting the Zack Snyder Justice League red carpet event the night before at 8 Pacific. I think you had to be invited to it, obviously, for like a live streaming event kind of deal. So that's kind of cool. Um, I ordered Dunkin' Donuts sweatpants. I am very much every day trying to get Dunkin' Donuts to sponsor us on our podcast, and they haven't noticed me once yet. So I'm looking kind of stupid. So if Dunkin' Donuts would like to just go ahead and say hello, acknowledge our existence,
Hello.
that'd be cool. I'm getting a tattoo of Sasquatch holding a Dunkin' Donuts cup, actually. So that's gonna be kind of
Oh
fun.
my goodness.
It's gonna be
Maybe
great.
they know that your co-host is Starbucks only.
Well,
Not
they just,
Starbucks only. I just don't like Dunkin' Donuts unless it's a pumpkin donut.
oh
I
my
will eat
gosh,
those.
I can't. I have the news that you and I both know about. I can't wait to get my Dunkin' Donuts all the effing time while I'm.
The nose.
Oh yeah. So the
Uh,
Powerpuff Girls, they have cast their Powerpuff Girls. So Dove Cameron, Chloe Bennett, and Yana
which
Peralt.
is Daisy. So
Chloe
yeah, that's
Bennett is
Sky
from
from
Agents of Shield,
yes, I love
and
her in Agents.
I don't know what the other two are from. I'm going to be honest. I didn't look it up.
I
I
don't
got
either.
lazy, so that's just on me. But I am not excited for this TV show
Oh,
because
I
it
don't care
takes
at all. The
place.
cartoon was
It's a
obnoxious.
CW show. The cartoon was decent. Okay, cartoon was cool. I
I didn't
can't.
like that. I had to stop letting my daughter watch the cartoon because they were being obnoxious, and
I can't wait to
she
see live action Mojo
replicates it.
Jojo, and then I hope we see the devil character, the crab devil
Mm.
thing in drag. That'll be interesting. But I don't know, like they're doing it as they're older and they regret their crime fighting days. That's kind of stupid.
They
We
regret
don't
them.
we don't need this. We don't need this show. So I think it's dumb. And obviously what I say is
Okay.
that's kind of all
You
I
never
had.
know
I
though,
thought I
because
had more.
they do a lot of twists and turns with shows nowadays, and it's not
It's the
anything you.
CW. It's gonna suck.
Not everything on the CW
That's
sucks.
fair. I will say also Joe I can't pronounce his last name. Deathstroke. He played.
We all know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was in
he
How I Met Your Mother.
was supposed to be. There's like 6 different versions of his Deathstroke, and him and Ben Affleck were supposed to have like an Arkham Origins fight. I would have just straight up just came in my pants if that had happened on the big screen. But we're not getting
Called
that,
a
so that's cool.
death stroke.
He had come out and said that he thinks that people are going to be clamoring for a lot more Zack Snyder DC characters, things of that after the Justice League. So I like him as an actor. I hope he gets to play Deathstroke. His costume and everything looked fucking sweet. And so I
Yeah,
guess we'll see. That's all I have for realsies now.
yeah, he's a cool dude. October 1st, 2021, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is opening at Epcot in the France Pavilion, and that will actually be Walt Disney World's 50th birthday. I
Oh,
do want to specify a lot of people say this the rat's name is not Ratatouille. Ratatouille is the dish he makes, the rat's name is Remy.
yeah, that is right. I
Um,
know a lot of people get mixed up with that, so that's very true.
Yeah. Just a reminder March 19th is Falcon and Winter Soldier. Oh, and another thing I did watch was the making of WandaVision on that assembly show. That was pretty cool. It's like an hour long and they show you a lot of behind the scenes stuff and the actors talk and whatnot. Pretty cool. And then they have the legends, those like 5 minute videos. They have one for Falcon, Bucky, um, Zemo, and Sharon Carter. So if you want to get caught
Ooh,
up on their little appearances in the movies, it's a nice, good thing to get you caught up. Obi-Wan will have a recurring role in the Disney Plus Andor show. Andor show. You're smiling.
Cassian Andor, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That should have been your news. Why did I take that?
I don't know. I'm just
Uh,
giving you all those things you messed up. I'm just
you
giving
can
you a bone.
always take all the Star Wars news. Space Jam 2 new images have come out. That movie will be coming out July
Lola
16th
Bunny is
on
no longer looking like a
HBO
snack.
Max and
They
theaters. Yeah, I heard
they
that.
they messed with her. They messed with Lola Bunny for all you disgusting furries out there.
Pretty disgusting.
This is where everybody's furry obsession started. Lola Bunny and Space Jam 1. They couldn't repeat this for another generation.
Damn shame. So Michelle Gomez, any Doctor Who fans know her as Missy. She's awesome as Missy, or the
She's also in
what is
Sabrina.
it, the Master. And she's been cast for Doom Patrol season 3 as the villain Madame Rogue. So that should be good because she's awesome.
Ooh.
So, and of course, I'm sure you heard there's another not Spider Man. Jeez and Rice, I use them back and forth. Another Superman reboot in the works. What do you think of that?
Look,
I feel like that's how everybody feels. I like Henry Cavill,
Henry
but I don't know why
Cavill
DC
is
just
a good
keeps
Superman.
doing
DC
this.
can't get their
Yeah,
shit
he's
together.
awesome.
DC cannot get their shit together. It is insane. Okay,
Yeah.
so I do have a piece of that going back to the Deathstroke. They were going to make a $40 million Deathstroke film, and Gareth Evans was going to be the director. This movie itself would have made its money back and then some. It would have made 200 million easily. You spend 40 million on it. Instead, DC said no, and then
We'll just
they
make
just
another Superman.
why are we? What are we doing? What are we doing, Warner Brothers? What are you
I don't
doing?
know.
Why? You don't need to
You think
reboot the
they'd
character. Bring
learn,
Henry
like, you know,
Cavill back.
yeah, he's my favorite Superman. I love him. But
He,
why I don't get why they don't take a page from Marvel's book and like pull into your vault. Like nobody really knew Iron Man before he started this empire. Like
they
find somebody
can't get
else.
out of their own way. I don't get it. I do not understand what they're doing. They don't seem to have a plan. They are just a mess, and it's frustrating. As a
They
DC
need a
fan,
Kevin Feige.
I'm a DC fan, and it's very frustrating.
Oh my goodness. I'm looking at your
All
notes
right.
for this. Okay.
So
Why don't you
let's
take
get
it
into this.
to our main topic?
It's Batman v Superman time, folks. Batman versus Superman. I saw this movie midnight at in theaters. I came out and I liked it. My friends I was with, they obviously didn't like it very much. A lot of people didn't like it. It started out really great. The reviews, everybody was excited about it. Come out the next day, and it was at like 27% Rotten Tomatoes, which fuck Rotten Tomatoes, who gives a shit. But a couple things that it was inspired by, though, was obviously Dark Knight Returns, my favorite Batman storyline comic book, and also the death of Superman, which showcases Batman or Superman fighting Doomsday, and they ultimately kill each other. And so that's what this kind of took from. It is. I liked the movie. I know most people didn't. I thought it was good. I was very sour towards Ben Affleck being Batman when the news initially broke. However, I thought he played like the pompous billionaire a little bit. He played that really well. I thought Henry Cavill, his Superman, obviously it took the extended edition of Henry Cavill kind of doing his detective kind of things as a reporter. I liked him. I thought Jeremy Irons was a fantastic Alfred. I really liked him as that,
Mm-hmm.
that. And even Lex Luthor, like shout out to Scotch and Sports, I put out there. They agree. Lex Luthor wasn't a bad character. Like he wasn't the best. Okay, like he was more of a Riddler type character, which I was talking with another podcast, Caller ID with Andy Rex. We got more like Riddler vibes, but I actually would have liked to have seen more from Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor because I didn't hate it. It was kind of weird and whatnot, but I didn't hate his Lex Luthor. So there's things I like, especially with the warehouse scene where they go and they fight, and that's straight out of a comic book. So this movie very divisive, and then of course Justice League happened after, and we all know what happened there. So we'll go ahead and let you give your little behind the scenes, and then we'll kind of dive into the movie.
All right, so yes, I got the fun facts. I did like Jeremy Irons, but I mean, every time I hear him, I just hear Scar. I mean, there
Well,
was
yeah,
even one
of
line he
course.
even said, and I'm just waiting for him to, to say, he said, "So you," and I'm like, or "So your father showed you the whole kingdom, did he?" Like I was waiting for him to say that. So, Zack Snyder actually came out recently after being asked his opinion on Batman v Superman being a joke because of the Martha line, and he said he's happy people are still talking about it.
It's true.
Um, this version of Batman is like, oh, you just said this based on the Frank Miller version of the character, and that's actually part of why Ben Affleck accepted the role.
He also did
Um,
it for his kids too.
oh, okay, that's good. I had read something else that his kids just want to watch Frozen and they don't care as
No,
much, but as they get older, they probably will.
he did. He played it for his kids and all that stuff. He was really excited. And then obviously, um, after that, it kind of became, is what it is, and we got the sad Affleck and all that kind of stuff. So
Hello, darkness, my old friend. So Ben Affleck asked Christian Bale for any Batman tips, and his tip was a zipper, so he can pee without a team of people, and he got his zipper. When casting Batman, they wanted somebody taller than Henry Cavill. Did I say it right this time? Cavill.
yeah,
Okay.
either or.
Affleck is 6'3", so he won. Yeah. Affleck wanted to keep the bat suit, but he was told he'd have to pay 100 grand to do that, so he did not.
Are you kidding me? If you got Ben
Affleck's.
Affleck money, that's a
That's
hundred
kind of
grand.
what I thought.
That's
Yeah.
$100. I'd pay that. Like, oh, I gotta pay 100 grand. Okay, let me pull out my Goodwill Hunting or whatever the fuck money, and like, great, 100 grand. That's nothing. Okay, sure.
That's kind of what I thought as well,
Come
but
on, Ben.
apparently it
Be
was
better, dude.
not worth it for him. I think he was probably maybe thinking they were just going to give it to him.
They should have the
Um,
way they did him dirty. All right, continue.
So his suit actually has a voice modifier in it, which is actually pretty funny because Kevin Smith told him that his voice was too high to be Batman, and that's why they did that. I love you, Kevin
Ooh,
Smith.
I God,
Uh,
I love Kevin Smith. Oh my God,
yeah.
hardest working man
In
in the industry.
in Mallrats, there's actually parody covers of comic books with the stars, and Ben Affleck is actually Batman on that. So, did he foresee this?
He must have.
And Superman only has 42 lines of dialogue, and half of them are saying Martha.
Hmm.
That second
Why
part's the lie. The first part's true.
you shut your
Okay,
mouth? I
I'm ready.
say. All right. All right.
Shut my mouth when I
So
talk to
the
you.
movie starts and kicks off. We're going to talk a little the unedited version, like the 3 hour long version, because that really is the only one that matters. It starts off, Lois Lane is going to talk to some warlord. They bring Jimmy Olsen and they fucking kill Jimmy Olsen in 5 minutes. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
it's kind of shitty. They
My
played him off.
daughter's like, did they really just kill Jimmy Olsen already? I'm like,
Yeah,
it looks
that
like
was kind
it.
of shitty. They brought him in to kill him. And then Superman saves her, of course. And so everybody's got beef. Like I can understand the aspect. You have all the or I'm sorry, the movie doesn't start there. The movie starts with Bruce Wayne in Metropolis while Zod and Superman are fighting. And he's driving his Jeep. I vividly remember the Jeep commercials when they're really showcasing this movie. It's the Jeep driving through Metropolis, getting destroyed and stuff. That was like their commercial for a Jeep slash Batman v Superman. So that was always a funny one. But he sees it getting destroyed. He sees a little girl who lost her parents, and was his name Frank or whatever the fuck in the tower gets just
The
killed.
guy
And
that worked
yeah, and so
for him
that's kind of where
lost his legs.
his hatred for Superman starts there, which to be honest, this is a Batman who,
Aliens in general.
right. I mean, this Batman has been fighting street level crime for like 20 years up to this point, and then he goes to Metropolis and he sees a lot of innocent people die. You don't really understand what's going on. I can understand where he'd be coming from. Like, this is a threat. The guy, he's playing nice now, but I just saw what he can do. Who's to say he isn't going to just fucking come around and kill us? So I don't hate that. I don't hate it at all.
Right. But at the same time, Superman's the only one who can stop these other bad aliens. I mean, like, who else is going to be able to stop the next Zod?
Right. And
And Batman even says there's more of them out there.
for sure. And Batman, again, he doesn't understand. He's older at this point. He doesn't quite grasp what the situation is. And so he's not used to seeing this kind of stuff. And I'm he comes around, obviously. It takes him a little while, but Batman has never really had
Takes him
friends,
a
and
long while.
he struggles with this kind of stuff in some of the comic
And
books and things like that.
right. Well, and Alfred tries to talk some sense into him. And even at the end, when he, like, is fighting Doomsday, he's like, well, if you hadn't used all the kryptonite, is basically what he says. He's like, well, I have one left. But okay, Alfred's trying to talk sense into him, but he's been his caretaker since his parents died. Like, maybe a little child therapy would have gone a long way, because he has some serious freaking issues. He's like, oh, your
Oh, that's
parents
serious
might have told you that
PTSD. Yeah.
you would be somebody one day. And he's like, but my parents told me you have to force things or whatever he said. But yeah, he's seriously needed a child therapist.
I do feel like that he is a little extreme. Batman in general as a character, if that's the only reason why you're at it is that has been my one and only problem, kind of like, I'm not saying get over your parents dying, but at what point does it not plague you as much as it kind of does throughout all these
Right.
iterations, right? Like Val Kilmer, well, it was in the Val Kilmer Batman, Chase Meridian, or was it in that one where she drops a rose or something like that? And he just starts like these insane flashbacks, PTSD to the night his parents died or whatever. I'm like, all right, come on,
I don't even
guy.
remember. I
Like,
haven't seen any of those since like the
yeah, I
90s.
don't know. It's just things like that nature. So then
Yeah.
after that, we roll into obviously when Jimmy Olsen gets capped, Lois Lane, Superman shows up. It's Lex Luthor's people there. They're using special bullets. They make it kind of, they come there and they, in the extended edition, they burn the whole place down and kind of make it look like he uses heat vision. So that's why we have these here.
Oh.
Yeah, the Lex Luthor basically sets it up to make it look like Superman did it. So that's why everyone's having these hearings and things of that nature. Like, why does he get to decide? And I'm fine with the whole God man kind of thing, because you have a lot of ordinary people who are like, well, he's basically a god. Who's to say who he gets to decide and all this kind of stuff. So you
Right. It's
think
the
about it today,
Sokovia Accords.
right? And look at it today is people absolutely would be like, he's God and all that kind of stuff. You would see those similarities without a doubt.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think like even Lex Luthor in this is almost Zemo, like he pins them against each other. But I just
Yeah.
feel like just, Batman was just so just not there. He was like an adolescent who was just still so angry. And I feel like they even show how lonely he is. It's like you have the scene with like Superman and Lois in the bathtub, and then it, they're about to get it on, and then it cuts to Batman alone on
I'd
an
get it on
elevator.
with
It's
Henry
like, this
Cavill in my
guy just
bathtub
needs to
too.
get laid already. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Well, who
Jeremy Irons
wouldn't?
is like, basically, why don't you go out and make me? He's that grandpa or the grandma or the mom, basically, who's like, when are you gonna give me grandkids? The whole movie, he's like,
Right?
Bruce, you gonna go and smash or what? But
Because he
uh
knows he may, I didn't get him child therapy. Now he just needs to get
well,
laid.
no, it's true. Even he's just tired at that point. Alfred's like, dude, just come on. Oh, you're drinking, you're gonna leave the next generation of Wayne's dry of their wine cellar. And he's like, Psh, keep dreaming, Alfred. And it's like, Alfred's tired too. He just wants some grandkids to play with, the poor guy.
Yep. He's like, I gave up, finding my own family to raise your selfish little ass.
Yeah, for sure. And
Your spoiled, entitled little
Wayne
ass.
Manor's kind of destroyed here, which I think is cool because again, you're seeing just a Batman and Alfred who are just worn out. They're living down by the lake, and he gets
Down
in.
by the
I
river.
like that. I will say I do not like how close Gotham is to Metropolis. It's you're just gonna
Yeah,
drive
they have him like across
these
the
two
river.
major cities. You're just gonna drive across the street and you're in another city. It's that wouldn't make any sense. I don't like that at all.
I guess
Um,
they wanted them to just be able to go back and forth super quick. I mean,
right.
they do
That's
that a little bit
stupid.
in like the Flash universe with like Central City and Star City or whatever. It's like
Yeah,
they're
they
there like
do.
immediately.
But that's fine. I'm okay with that, but because they don't talk about them being next to each other in that manner. Whereas this one, it's you can see the bat signal from Metropolis, and I think that's dumb. In no universe do you have two major cities like that close. So I don't like that. I will say I like that Superman was doing a little bit of reporter work against Batman. I liked you got to kind of see Clark Kent being Clark Kent as a reporter. And I like Lawrence Fishburne. He's kind of that asshole, you know. He just
Yeah.
but my wife, she kind of pointed out something that was funny, and she's like, when he was basically like, don't let anybody take your lunch money, Kent, in Gotham. My wife is like, who the fuck is gonna go and try to beat up Henry Cavill? You see how big that even
I
if he has
know. It's like
glasses
those
on, the dude is
glasses don't
massive.
hide his muscles, right?
No, the dude is massive. He has to wear like two shirts sewn together because he's so freaking stacked.
I know, and he just kind of looks at him, and like he's looking at him because oh, I have superpowers, but yeah, he's still like
Yeah,
huge.
nobody's picking on Henry Cavill in the streets. Let me tell you that much. So,
No,
uh, and I really liked. So we go to the gallery night where Lex Luthor, yeah, he's kind of acting all strange on stage and whatnot, but he kind of it comes out he brings everybody together, and I liked the scene because you get to see Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne. He kind of has to act like he had too many cocktails. He's planning the device at Lex, trying to figure out whatever's going on, and so I really like that he was playing into the playboy aspect, and then he kind of talks shit to Clark there, like, "Oh, do I own the Daily Planet?" I thought that was cool too. I like that interaction, and so
yeah. Did you
you
ever see
see,
the Jimmy Kimmel skit with that?
I might have, I probably have, I just don't remember it right now.
Where he goes up to them and he's like at the gallery party and he's talking to both of them and then he starts like covering Batman's face and like taking Clark's glasses off. He's like, "Hold on a minute." Pretty funny.
It is always kind of funny that nobody recognizes, but then again, like put a mask on, right? It's the COVID times. We put a mask on. How many times are you recognizing somebody? You can't sometimes. And so I can kind of
I
see it.
don't
Or
know.
I take my glasses off and some people don't recognize me at first. So I can kind of see it.
Oh, that's funny.
It is
Well,
true.
there you go.
So
Maybe you're
I
Superman.
don't know.
But no, I was at Tactical Brewing last week though. I had sunglasses and a mask on, and I'm like 10 feet away from somebody, and they're like, "Hey, how are you?" I was like, "How the hell did she know it was me?"
it's the Marvel. You're practicing the Marvel method and it doesn't work.
Nope.
Apparently. So yeah, we kind of see then Batman is going after that ship, and Superman shows up and basically tells him, quit it, stop, you stop, just stop it. And so he rips the doors off. Batman's kind of
Quit
like,
it.
oh shit, dude, crazy. And so that's their first interaction.
Yeah, he
And
does look
then
a little scared.
Batman was like, oh god, I think I peed a little, Alfred. And that was cool, which reminds me of when they're at the gallery night.
Hope he has a filtration system like
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Clark can kind of hear the talking, the squawking on the thing. So that's kind of how he figures out who he is, which I thought that was cool. And so I like, ultimately, we'll just kind of get to the battle there, Batman v Superman. I thought it was a good fight. I know everybody was like, all right, it's gonna be 5 minutes and over, but yeah, I mean they kind of hash this is what dudes do. Guys will fight fists, like we will beat each other up, and then we're shaking hands and getting a beer afterwards. That's what dudes do. And so I'm okay with them beating each other up and then being friends after. That's what guys do.
My thing with just the beating up was just that I felt like Batman was never truly justified in his thing. It was more like this could be a potential threat and he needs to be put down
Okay.
now. But also,
But doesn't the American government and everybody else kind of do that as
okay,
well?
but why? But Batman's acting like Superman needs to be controlled, but Batman has no rules. So
Yeah.
why is
It's
Batman
the whole
allowed to
point.
take
We're
this
showing
upon?
he's not. It's hypocritical.
Right,
Batman's in the wrong here, as we all know.
right.
But that's giving
But I
character
guess I just
development to Batman though.
felt like it wasn't enough. And I have a big issue with that in multiple movies where, and even in Lois and Clark, the TV show, where the kids just they switch too quick. Like nobody's opinions can go so strong from one stance to another like that without something hugely monumental happening and knowing that his
Have you seen the
mom's name is
political
Martha.
environment these days? Are
I'm
you
talking
kidding
about good
me?
movies. I'm not
Are you
talking
kidding
about our
me?
political
No, this is
environment.
on par with all these crazies out there. So
But I guess I just feel like, everybody calls Batman an anti hero. And in some instances, he is. But I feel like anti heroes don't want to be heroes. They're like Deadpool. But he really does want to be a
he
hero.
doesn't want to be a hero. He just wants to make it so other like he just wants to make crime go away. He's only in it for himself. Like his parents got shot, so he wants to make it so other parents don't get shot essentially. But he's lost his way at this point. He's been so jaded by doing it and nothing has changed in the 20 years. So at this point, Batman's just kind of as he's branding people, all that stuff to where like he
Yeah, that
brands
was pretty
people,
messed up.
he brands
Brand some
them
of
so
them
that way he
bad, and
doesn't
then
kill
they're
them.
screwed.
Yeah, they go to jail and then they get killed, and that's one less person on the street. Like he's not killing them personally. He's letting the other people kill them. So it's some character development. Batman's kind of this wishy-washy, like
Blood's still on his
gray area
hands.
character, and I'm cool. I think that's great because it's an interesting take on Batman. He's just jaded at that point. I liked that they each got their hits in. So Batman at first was like, "Oh shit, he shit his pants" because Superman's
What
was
did I get myself
he
into?
was eating punches and beat him up a little bit in his suit. I thought his suit was great. It was ripped straight from the comic books. And then the kryptonite as he figures out that works, and so he
Yeah,
gets
I'll give
his
you
hits
that.
in. And I really enjoyed that he gets his hits in. They go back and forth. I thought the fight was pretty good overall for what it was. They fought it out.
No, the
Batman, you
fight
saw his
was
tricks.
good. Yeah, that wasn't the issue. Yeah.
No, I understand, but the fight was good. And then of course Superman's got the kryptonite going through him. Batman beats him down as he's about to stab his ass. Obviously, he's like, "Save Martha," and that's his mom because his mom was kidnapped by Lex Luthor because Lex Luthor set up Superman to be like, either I'm going to kill your mom
Because
or you're
he's
going to
the
kill
Zemo.
Batman because he is like Zemo, yes. And so Superman kind of got forced into it. He tells Lois nobody stays good in this world, which my big problem here is Lois Lane. I don't like her because in this movie, she's just there to be there. They don't give her anything to do.
Oh, see, I really like her as Lois Lane. Her and him are my favorite Lois and
She's
Clark.
great as Lois Lane, but the character itself in this movie has nothing to do.
So you
She's
think
just
she was
there.
like Pepper Potts and like
Yes.
what is it, Iron Man 2? Like she's just there to be, or
She's
more than
there.
Iron Man 2.
And as you
Yeah.
see, she shows up and he's like, that's his mom. And because Batman obviously is like, why Martha? And he starts to have his PTSD, whatever's going on. And you're, of course, everybody memes the fuck out of this. I get it. It was kind of silly. I don't like that moment either. I think they could have handled it differently,
But it was a
but
pivotal moment.
it was. And then I think what they're going for is like he's seeing Superman as human. He's like, what do you mean, Martha? Why are you saying Martha? That's my mom. All he's thinking about is his own personal mom. Then that's
Right.
when
No, yeah. It
Lois
was just so
shows up out of
much.
nowhere, and Lois is like, "That's his mom." And I don't like Lois Lane in this movie because she just appears for no
She does
reason.
push the story though, along with her actual reporting. Like I feel like she's a better character in
Yeah,
this than Pepper is in Iron Man 2. She just Pepper in Iron
she
Man
did.
2 just starts to irritate me. Like
That's
why
true.
the hell are you going with Happy? You're fine. Just stay where you are.
She does show up. She goes to DC to investigate the bullet and finds out that it's a Lex Luthor one. Which, by the way, that guy she talks to, that's Martian Manhunter. That's pretty sick. So as we now learn, but yeah, I just don't like that she's this. Okay, so up to that point, she was fine in the movie, but her showing up That's his mom. He tosses the spear away. Then he's like, nobody's dying tonight, which leads me to like my favorite comic book moments of all time. Batman. Okay, yeah, he's flying in, he's shooting people. That's not it. He when he goes into the warehouse and he pretty much like drops the floor. He's sitting up there. He disables everybody's guns and he drops down. And he just, this is straight from fucking video games. He is so brutal in the way that he beats everybody's ass. It is amazing. He's just, you hear, you're like, they're breaking legs. He throws somebody against the wall. He whips the crate at somebody. Just the way he moves is so brutal. It is amazing. He gets shot, and it makes sense that his helmet, or his cowl, is bulletproof. His cuffs, gauntlets, they're knife bulletproof. You kind of see that a little bit, and then he just beats the fuck out of everybody, and it is so good.
I think the best part though is when Wonder Woman shows up
Okay, yeah, we're about to get
and
there.
he's like, "She's with you. I thought she was with you."
So the part where he goes up to KG Beast, he's saving Superman's mom Martha, and he's like, I'll kill her, and he's like, I know, like he busts through pretty much. That was kind of from the Dark Knight Returns where he busts through the wall and grabs the gun and like shoots, that kind of thing. That was ripped from the comic books, which was great. He kind of kills him. KG Beast gets roasted. That was kind of not very Batman like, but saves Martha, and then Doomsday gets out, and Lex is like, "Haha, this is my god. God meets soup, whatever he stupid Lex Luthor says." And they go at
Stupid
it.
like
And I thought that DC shot themselves in the foot when they released this part, because they released Doomsday in the trailers, and then I like that he was evolving as it goes on. But I wish they kind of gave him more of that Doomsday look from the comic books, of course, because he kind of looked like an orc from like Lord of the Rings. So, but obviously Wonder Woman shows up. The Trinity is there. That's a badass shot. And he's like, I thought she
Mhm.
was with you. And then Wonder Woman's theme hits. That was dope. And Hunter Bishop on Twitter was pretty much like, if Wonder Woman could have beaten Doomsday herself, Superman was just being dumb because he takes the kryptonite spear. And Wonder Woman could have done that because she's basically invincible. She could have killed
And it
Doomsday with a
wouldn't have
spear.
killed him
Exactly.
because it's right.
But I thought that was a fine scene because it shows that he's willing to sacrifice himself for this world that he owes nothing to.
Which
Like
we
he
knew, but Batsy didn't.
right. Obviously, Batman's basically like, oh shit. And he doesn't know he doesn't do anything in this fight. Batman's just jumping around trying not to get
Because
killed.
he's just human, yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But Wonder Woman comes in, she's a badass. She's smiling. Gal Gadot, this is your first time seeing her in action. I thought it was really good. It was a good like fight scene between
No, I did like seeing that and seeing them even team up, and she's got the lasso on him. What I thought was funny though is after Superman dies, and I feel like Lois was in that scene too to add some emotional element because it's like, they're not emotionally involved in Superman. And so to see her be very upset and that humanized them more too to make Batman feel like
But
more of a
again,
dick.
Lois Lane shows up for no reason again.
Well, she was
Then she
still
starts
there.
to
I don't know,
drown.
whatever.
Well, again, she starts to drown, and Superman gets distracted, of course, and that's what leads him to getting the spear.
I
And
hate when they
then,
do that too, though. They used to do that with Mary
oh,
Jane. Like,
so
ugh.
in the Zack Snyder Justice League trailer, you see when Superman's getting stabbed, the shockwaves go out, and that pretty much signals the mother boxes, which is how Darkseid knows there's no Kryptonian anymore, because the mother boxes get awoken on Earth by the shockwave of him yelling. You actually see those shockwaves in this movie. If you pay close attention when he dies or is getting stabbed, the shockwaves go out. Those weren't just added for the Justice League trailer and movie that we are getting on Friday. It was actually in BVS too, which is pretty cool.
Good to know. So I
So
wouldn't even have realized that.
overall,
But
yeah.
yeah, my one last thing, I just thought it was funny when Superman did die, watching Gal Gadot just so easily carry this huge man off the thing and just
Oh
delicately
yeah.
set him down.
It was a cool scene how she just basically hangs her head and Batman's just kind of standing there, kind of realizing what happened. And you know,
It's like,
the
well, I
the,
guess
the
I'll pay for
funeral
the
scene is cool.
funeral. What a nice guy.
Yeah, old bats. He pays for the funeral. They have a fake funeral for Superman. The soldiers, they have the real funeral, and then like the dirt starts to rise. So overall, I honestly, was this movie great? No, it wasn't. All right, I recognize that it has its flaws. The things that were bad were bad. The things that were great were great. There's a little bit of middle ground, but I honestly, I loved this film. I like it a lot. There's a lot of things that I like, and I realize that a lot of people just hate it, and that's okay. That's how I feel about The Last Jedi. A lot of people love The Last Jedi. I thought it was fucking shit. And that's what's the great thing about movies. Movies are meant to like be up to our interpretation. That's what's so beautiful about art and all the things in this world. Like we all take these things in differently, and it's a great just discuss about it. I play around. Look, you can hate this movie all you want. That's fine. I'm still gonna like it. So that's how I feel.
I would say overall, in my opinion, there are definitely enjoyable moments. There are definitely neat things that they pulled straight from the comic books. I've already said I love Henry Cavill. Uh, but it's not a good movie, and they didn't do it the justice it deserved. I did not like the casting of Ben Affleck, and I was hoping I was going to be proved wrong because there's a couple Marvel people I was proved wrong on. But I guess he lived up to my expectations.
I think that
And
it's unfortunate that Ben had alcoholism, and I'm glad he's better now. I wished people wouldn't have been so internety, and I would love to see Ben Affleck as in a solo Batman movie just to really see what he can do. Same with Henry
should
Cavill.
old man Batman.
I would love to see Henry Cavill come back as Superman just to see what he
Yes,
can really
please.
do, written properly and all that kind of stuff. So
I liked Man of Steel. I thought it was
Man
good.
of Steel is a
I
good
thought it was
movie.
much
It
better
is
than
a
this.
good
Yeah.
movie. I thought, man, that's what got me on the super. I didn't like Superman. I've never liked Superman. I watched Man of Steel and I was like, I actually kind of am interested in learning more about Superman and diving in because I hadn't before. I was just kind of like, oh, he's just this big, powerful, whatever, not that great.
Yeah, I've
And
never read a Superman
Henry
comic.
Cavill made it so I actually was interested in Superman a little bit. So I hope he gets to put it on one more time. And with that
So
said,
the WB did tell Ben Affleck to watch
WB.
other reviews of like other superheroes like Robert Downey Jr. and people criticizing him to make him feel better, but I guess it didn't make
He
him
was
feel better.
struggling with his own personal stuff. That's what that boils down to. So we'll
Yeah.
see how the Justice League when it comes out Friday. We'll see how that affects anything going forward. With that said, do you have anything else to add before we wrap this on up?
Nope. I think
All right.
that's about it. We'll see y'all
Well,
folks next week.
we'll see you next week. The Justice League will have been out. We will be talking about it, and the internet's probably going to explode and just burn, and the world's going to be on fire, and no one's going to be happy. So,
Well, and Winter Soldier and Falcon come out
and
too on
Falcon and
Friday.
Winter Soldier, that's going to be a
Woohoo,
stacked day.
exciting.
So, we're going to be talking about all the things. Make sure
All the
if you haven't
things.
subscribed, subscribe, leave a review, love us or don't. That's fine. And we'll be talking to you guys soon. We got a lot of great collaborations coming up. We'll catch us on Quips and Dips. We are going to be on that. Catch us with Watching Comics, Jock Doc. We just got a lot of good collaborations coming on. We're going to be hooking up with Geek Peak again, and Dads on Dayquil are going to be coming on, and there might be a little
That
supernatural
should be a
trivia
fun
action
one.
happening. I'm going to
I'm gonna kick
moderate.
some ass.
Yeah. So thank you for coming on, and cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
This has been a Hops News production. You can find Hops News on all your favorite podcasts and social media platforms at Hops News. Cheers.